Hey folks, I just wanted to give you guys a short video on how to make your poster for the symposium, which is right in 1 week. It's next Thursday. So we had a training on making a poster a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna offer one next week, either Monday or Wednesday. The details will be in the email, and everything I'm gonna cover right now, I'm also gonna email you, right? So any information I show you, all of the poster templates will be in the email as well. Okay, so right, and I'll give the link to the research symposium information here. So the first thing that I want to cover is let's look at. I will include an official poster format. Okay, so basically you're filling this in. Use this template. Okay, so there's an abstract here. There's methods here. Conclusion. Right. Just feel free to like delete the material, whatever the template text is, and just add your own conclusion. So you have various parts, the abstract, the methods, the conclusion, the results, the objectives. I'll go over that in a second. But use this template. There are many poster templates out there. The Research Symposium does prefer this one. It's easier to print one type of template out. So please do use this one if you can. Okay, so that's the template I'll be sending you. So let me now just go over some of those basic parts of the poster. And if you can make my workshop again next week, it will be very similar, this information that I'll go over. Okay, so first of all, right, the poster symposium is what's what's the purpose, right? We'll just start at the beginning. The purpose is to communicate, to show, to publicize your whatever research or activity or project that you've done at LW Tech. Okay, so essentially you're just communicating your findings to your colleagues and the campus community. So that's the purpose here, right? You're reporting out. Right? You're just showing your research to others. You want to be short, concise, and tell a story. There's different types of posters. We are going to work with the horizontal type, right, or the landscape type. They're very similar. I think the printers that we contract with it might be easier to do the horizontal. I think that's why we chose that format. But there's no good reason over the other, right? But as you just saw, we're doing that's the horizontal template, okay, rather than a more vertical one. But they're both good. Okay, your audience for this is the LW Tech community. Okay, so students, colleagues, and staff and faculty. So that's your audience. I would avoid big jargon words. Okay, so because this is other students in culinary or welding or nursing or allied health, right? Whatever jargon you have in your discipline, be it computer science or whatever, you just want to break it down into everyday language. Okay, you could use a jargon word, but then you might want to put that in quotes and give, how would you explain that to your mother or your father, right? Like in English, we could say things like, hermeneutical enterprise, and you're like, what? Right? So I just need to break that down into like, you know, let's explore ways of knowing, right? What we know, rather than saying a word like hermeneutics. Does that make sense? So whatever jargon from your discipline, make sure you translate that for your audience. There's a lot of examples. You like even astronomy, has like the term exoplanet. That just means like a planet outside of our solar system or a distant planet, right? So like, yeah, exoplanet. It's like what's an exoplanet or an exomoon. But that's pretty, understandable jargon. There's some really advanced jargon. So just again, break jargon down for us. I would not include too much jargon on your poster. I would just try to translate it. Okay. Just want to get to the good stuff. This slide really breaks down what each of the sections on the poster does. okay? And let's just go over that. So you've got your title header, right? You're the author. Your affiliation is, LW Tech, culinary, LW Tech, whatever department you're in, right? You would put that up here. Um, and the abstract, I'll go over this a little bit more in a minute. The abstract, think of that as it's the total summary of your paper or your project, right? It's everything together, okay? It's just a short summary of um, the question, the problem you explored, what you found, your results. So it's like a little mini poster in the abstract. The introduction, right? That's the essential background, the context. It's maybe the problem you researched, right? The questions that you asked. It might be your hypothesis, your thesis. Basically, it's the background. It's the introduction. It's the context. It's the question you set out to explore in your project or your research. The methods, right? Sometimes we can be confused on methods. The methods is what did you do and how did you do it? So let me break this down a little bit more. I have something on methods. The methods is sort of your data collection process, right? Did you do an experiment? Did you conduct a survey? Did you conduct an interview? That's your method. That's the how you got data, how you got information. Did you do research on Google Scholar? Did you do library-based research? Does that make sense? Any of that is your data collection process. What did you do? How did you do it? Right? How did you collect the data? What is the data? Okay. Um, I'll break this down a little bit more. What are the resources, the materials, the tools you used? Let's say you used a specific software program like CAD or DALL-E or Midjourney, right, to make AI-based art. That's your methodology, right? So you could say my methodology includes working with AI visual generators like DALL-E and Midjourney. Okay, that's your methodology. that's the process and the tools that you used. Does that make sense? If you did a painting, you might talk about did you use oil or acrylic or watercolor, right? So this is the methodology is a place to talk about resources, materials, and tools that you used or approaches, right? I looked at studies from the University of Washington, right? University UW research, right? That's the resources that you used. Okay, and again, I'll include links to all of this. So going back to the poster, right? That's the methods. I would include a few pictures if you have them, right? So those would sort of be the tables or figures. And there's space for that on the poster template. Sometimes folks get discussion a little confused with results, okay? The results are, what did you observe? What data did you see? What's the answer to the question you set out to explore, okay? That's the results. What's the result of your findings? The discussion is sort of more philosophical. What does it mean, right? Are there any contradictions in the research, right? How does this support your hypothesis? How does this support your conclusion? So it's more about meaning, right? What does it mean? So the results are more like, what's the raw data? What did you find, right? So let's say I wanted to create new monuments using visual AI. And so I plug in some prompts and I get some images of, new monuments, right? To replace old Confederate monuments. That would be my results. And then the discussion would be, well, what do these photos mean? What do these new images mean, right? It means, we can use visual AI generators to create new monuments so that we can replace old monuments, right, that have been removed or taken out. And basically anyone is empowered to be an artist and a designer now using DALL-E or Midjourney. That's what it all means, right? So do you hear how the discussion is a little bit different from the results? Okay. Acknowledgements, this is optional, but feel free to acknowledge your professors, your instructors, your teachers, anyone who helped you with this project, essentially. You can also, give a shout out to the Applied Research Committee or any folks, who will assist with the research symposium, right? Like, like me, I'm a volunteer too, right? So there's a lot of us, but you don't have to. I would say definitely like shout out to whoever your instructor was who may have, out of which class did this research or project come from. Okay. Um, and I just want to say a little bit about the abstract. I have a little reading on the abstract. Let's pull that up. Where is that? Okay, so the abstract, and I'll include this. This is, again, it's like a little summary, right? It's the context or background of your project, the questions that you asked, the questions you sought out to answer, maybe what's already known about your topic, right? What the gap in the research is that you explored, right? What is known, what is not known, right? Usually research or a project moves from this is what we know, and I set out to explore something that we don't know, okay? And then your findings, right? Results and the significance or the discussion. So all of that is a short little summary called the abstract, okay? And then lastly, I give you, within this poster reading again, there's just some general suggestions on how to make a poster, right? So I like it sort of says like here's a good version, here's a bad version. I don't really like that language, but you want like graphs that are a little bit more detailed than a basic plotter here that you see, right? So this is like the bad version. This is the better version. Or don't include a photo of something we can't tell what it is, right? Do something more up close, right? So rather than this tree, you get the bird in the tree, right? I kind of like that one. Beware of contrast, right? This is unreadable, basically. I mean, I love this deep purple. It looks like a Rothko painting, but we can't read it. So I wouldn't add like a color layer. This is too much, right? This is too much text, right? The whole point of this being a poster symposium is you're there to interpret what your research or your project or your findings or what you did. It's not to put a paper on a poster, right? That's not what a poster is. It's, the basic sketch, and then you're there to activate or animate or discuss it. Okay? So way too much text here. This is like it's his mouth. It's just kind of funny, but kind of distracting. Um, right. This is more of balance, right, between image and text. So this would be a really good example, right? So a nice balance between text and image. Again, this one has maybe too many images, right? And it's a little hard to read, right? There's really not a lot of headings and subheadings. Okay, so that's all this document, this PowerPoint does, is it just breaks down, how much information should you have on a poster. So I hope that's helpful. And again, I'm about to email all of this to you. And yeah, we'll see you next Thursday. And again, I'll offer one more in-person how to make a poster. Email us if you have any questions. Thank you.